Hi everyone, welcome to my little channel. I'd like to thank all my lovely new subscribers. I really appreciate that you've joined my YouTube channel, and thank you very much for your comments. If you're not a subscriber, then please give me a thumbs up or subscribe, and welcome to everyone. So let's begin. So what we're going to do today has been brought about, I should say, by my posting some things on my craft group, and a lot of people wondered, how did I do it? And this is what we're looking at. We're looking at lovely little images. I'm just going to pop out a few. They're all different shapes and sizes, which have been put onto fabric. I've tried lots of different ways of doing this before. It's jammed my printer, it hated it, everything went wrong. This way is almost foolproof. I've not had any problem at all. So I'm not one for long videos, so I'm going to leave those there at the side, and we're going to start to make some. So the first thing we need to do is have a look at what I'm actually using. Excuse the rustling. I'm using the A4 matte white paper sticker label. I've had this in my stash for years, and it's yellow on the back and it's white on the front. I've also got another great big pile, again, that was in my stash. This is available on Amazon if you pop in postage labels A4. So those are what we're going to be working on. The next thing that we need, obviously, to have handy is our fabric. So the fabric that I'm using, it's just a cotton fabric. It's had no treatment to it, just a plain cotton fabric. But the thing is, we need to check that your fabric is going to work, because we need for the fabric to tear in both directions. And the way to check that your fabric will do this is to make a little snip and tear. I love that sound. And then turn it round, another little snip and tear. So because this fabric tears in both directions, I know that it's the right type of fabric for this project. That was the word I was looking for. So here's a little tip that I use. Some of you know, some of you don't. I've got really bad eyesight at the moment. I'm hoping it's going to improve. So before I stick my sheet onto my fabric, I just use my little distress and distress a bit around the edges, so that when I come to cut, then I can see more clearly. So what you need to do is cut slightly larger than your sticky sheet. This isn't sticky, I'm calling it a sticky sheet, your poster sheet. So I'm just going to come to about here, holding that down, and I'm going to tear. And similarly, I'm going to go along the other direction, make a little snip. I'm going to hold that down for now and give it a little tear. So there we have our fabric, which is a little bit bigger than our poster label. So the next thing you need to do, obviously, is adhere these two pieces together. Now, a little tip, we know that this is the edge I've just torn, and this is the edge I've just torn. It's quite important, not essential, but quite important to remember, because when it comes to putting your images on and then tearing the fabric, you want to roughly know, you don't want it skew whiffy, because otherwise when you tear it's going to go through your images. So just keep that bit in mind. So let's get this. It's quite easy. If you pull the white sheet, it's slightly easier. And there we've got our very, very sticky label. You can see I've not ironed this. So I'm just roughly going to line it up. Now some people like to iron. I'm not one of those people. So I take, excuse me, my bone folder, and I give it a good push all the way around, and I do that on both sides. And as you can see, I hope you can see, I have my daughter videoing this, bless her. She stood on a chair because I can't get to do it myself. So thank you, Megan. So there we have it. We've now got our piece adhered, and then what we need to do is cut very closely. Don't rip at this point. You need to be cutting this. If you rip it, your printer is not going to like it, and ultimately it's going to tell you you've got a paper jam, something like that. So trim all the edges. That's not quite, there we go. This is where that line that I've put in helps me. It's just optional, but it's just a little tip that I think does help. And the last one, there we go. So that's what you will have, and you will have all of these left over. Don't throw them away. I have a little tip for these later on in the video. So if you're working and you've got a computer, you can send your images directly to your printer and it will print. Make sure you've got it on the fabric side, whichever way your printer does that. Mine I have to feed in this way. I know others will go the opposite way. You know how your printer works. But you can send your images direct now from your computer. You could even do whole sheets from your computer or copy. So I'm not going to do whole sheets at the moment. I'm going to show you using smaller images. So the next thing we need to do is choose some of our images that we're going to use. So this is just another extra little tip. This is how I store all my little fussy cuts and images. It's got butterflies, lady stickers, letters, botanicals, flowers. It's just like a shoebox, but it keeps hundreds and hundreds. And all I do is, if I'm at the charity shop, I will look for these, the old photo albums, and keep the book, the outer section, and rip these off. And you've got two sections, one at the front, one at the back, and it stores an amazing amount in that little shoebox. That's just a little extra. So I have chosen some images, and to save time, I've already popped them onto my sheet here. Let me just move this bit. And the next thing you're going to need is a cheapy little glue stick, nothing special, and just put a tiny little amount. I've already done it on these. As I said, I like to save a bit of time. I don't like hour-and-a-half long videos. And just pop them on, and the good thing about this, because you've only put a little tiny dab of your glue on, after you've printed, you can pull these off, and you've got them to use as well as your fabric. So now we've got that ready. For me, it will go upside down in my printer, and I will feed in my sheet that we've just cut. So being as my printer is up the other side of the room, I've already printed it. So there you go, both the same. So here is the one I've printed, and yes, it is on the fabric side. So this is the easier part now. I should have mentioned, when you're putting on your images, practice first on your piece of copy paper. So try and line them up, because we are going to be tearing along these edges and along here. We can do this separately, but the long edge, you need to have a gap in order to be ripping. So if you're using large images, obviously, then you will only get a certain number on your page. But again, you need to make sure that you've got space to rip. So here we go. These are our images, fabric side, sticky side. Leave the sticky back on. I have tried it by taking the whole lot off, and it didn't work at all. This way is much quicker, and I will show you why. So you're going to make your little cut and your little cut, and you know that your fabric rips. So we hold on, be brave, and rip. Wow, you might think this is horrendous. No, this is going to be very, very helpful. So again, we've made our little snip, and nice and brave. So the next thing is we're going to snip along the sides. So I'll make my 4 snips. I do love this sound. And what you will see, move those, is that some of the sticky is sticking out. That's a great bonus, because now it is so easy to pull your fabric off. And there we have our first image. I never usually do men, I do ladies and flowers and things like that. So there's another little piece. Oopsie. Oh, but it's stuck to my fingers. Hold on to the sticky, hold on to your fabric. Some bits, if they come off, don't panic, because there will be a big section that will come off. So, struggling with my eyes at the moment there. Come on, come on. Let's get you going. Thank you. There's that one. They usually come off a bit easier than this, but obviously, because I'm videoing, it's going to not. There we go. There's our second one. There's our third. So when you've got your whole sheet and you try, I didn't find that worked very easily. So this for me is the easiest way, because it just basically comes off in one fell swoop. So again, make your little snips. You know you've left a gap. Be brave, and pull. And here we have them. 1, 2. Having this little bit is much easier, I find anyway, to stick everything on. I'll move these up just so you know that they're all being done. I might take the backs off all of these, but reason why we left those gaps and the reason why we lined it up in the first place. Roughly, you don't have to be too measuring or anything like that. It doesn't have to be that accurate, but when you are lining up your fabric with the raw edges that you've just ripped, it makes this much easier. And as you can see, we haven't gone through any of the images. Come on, Ice. I can never see white on white. That's my problem. There we go. So basically, that is it in a nutshell. There, I'll just leave those for you. I'm sure you've got the idea. So what I then do, when I've finished, I then select my images. I'm just going to move some of these to the side here. And I think, well, I don't really want it with all of that at the top. So once it's been ripped off, you can then just snip away and decide how large, how small you might want your images. And then you can, there we go, let's do one more. So this gentleman here, there we go. Not a very happy soul, is he? But there we go. He will go in one of my men's journals. So that's the difference between, is that the same man? Yes. There. So I've just made them smaller according to what I want to do. And the last little bits that I would like to show you is I did say, I'll leave these up so you can see some of these. I did say don't throw away, because you will end up with lots and lots of this section. What I did, I spent quite a happy little half an hour, again, just ripping them into slightly smaller strips, and then I just dyed them, and I ended up with these gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous little off-cut pieces that I wouldn't have had. So I need to thank Amanda Charlesworth from Scrimping Mummy. She did a video using napkins and these A4 poster labels, and I thought, I have some of those, and this is what I came up with. So I would like to thank you all for watching. I'm just going to, where did I put that? It doesn't matter, does it? I'm looking for my folder. Okay. So here we've got just some much larger images of some of the lovely ladies, some Art Nouveau. So any shape can work. And as I said, it hasn't gone wrong with me once. My printer is fine with it, and the colours are, almost true to as they were. Let's see if we can see the difference here. Let's look at this man here. It's slightly, because it's on fabric, it's slightly less black and white. Yes, it's more faded, but that's quite nice to have in the journals that we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move those up there, and I have somewhere 2 sheets. Where did I put those? Here we go. Yes, so I'm going to put up these 2 sheets for you to, if you want to do a screenshot. It's not that difficult, but sometimes, you think, which is the best way to do it? Should I do it this way first or that way first? This is the kind of order. Obviously, you've seen it doesn't take forever. There's 10 steps, but it's Very simple, as you've seen. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, could you give me a thumbs up, please? I'd really appreciate it. And if you're not a subscriber and you fancy pressing the button, I'd appreciate that too. There is another video coming up probably next week, again on fabrics. I'm not going to give too much away, but it's a great hack. Okay, bye for now.